California Department of Public Health's California COVID-19 vaccination program, MyTurn, and myCAvax office hours this Monday, November 14th, 2022. We will be together for the next 60 minutes as we move on to our next slide. My name is Leslie Amani, and on behalf of the California Department of Public Health, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you. And we want to remind you today's session is for you, so please find that Q&A double talk bubble icon. That is where you will ask questions and make comments to our CDPH subject matter experts. And today's session is specifically related to MyTurn and myCAvax. So those are the questions we are welcoming today. If you have other questions related to the California COVID-19 vaccination program, please do ask them during the LHJ webinar or provider webinar. But today, as we have presentations and demos, we want to invite you to ask MyTurn and myCAvax questions. We're also dropping resource links into the chat, so you can also locate that talk bubble single, and it is in the bottom banner on my screen, so locate those. As we move on to our next slide, just a reminder to panelists, please mute yourself when you are not speaking and do monitor that Q&A panel for any questions you may be able to answer today. To our attendees, we are recording today's session, and you can access today's slides already on EasyIZ COVID Education, and the recording will be added later. If you have any post-webinar questions, please email me, leslie.amani@cdph.ca.gov. Next slide. Just a quick announcement on our next slide. Just a reminder that the Friday provider webinar is canceled Friday, November 25th. So plan ahead. We are meeting this Friday, but just keeping in mind, Thanksgiving is next week. And if this also jogs your memory to write some things on your grocery lists, I encourage you to do that as well. But again, we won't meet on Thanksgiving Friday. Next slide, please. All right, it's my pleasure to turn the microphone over for updates and demonstrations to Dan Conway, Josh Pocus, and Hannah Shows. Dan, why don't you start us off?
Thank you, Leslie. Next slide, please. All right, so we have quite a few things to cover today. We're going to go over the MyTurn Release 33 items, then go over some of the details around the valid lot numbers, and then Hannah will do a MyTurn demo. We're going to review the what's new in myCAvax from our most recent release, give you some updates on the Mpox vaccinations and marking providers eligible for those, and also going over the Mpox ordering for providers, provide an update on the single dose ordering that the Pfizer single dose vials are coming out. And then go over our November holiday ordering delivery cadence, and also another reminder about our new email address for MyTurn and myCAvax. And then Hannah will also give us another demo for myCAvax. Right, next slide, please. I think I'll be turning this over to Josh to give us an overview of MyTurn.
Thank you, Dan, and happy Thanksgiving next week to everybody on the call. Hope you guys have a great holiday. All right, going into MyTurn Release 33, I'm going to be talking quite a lot on different slides about some of these individual items, but just to kind of hit some of the highlights here, we're adding some descriptions on the patient information and final step pages on the public side. We are doing some eligibility page reconfiguration to enhance the user experience. We're making some appointments. We're moving some monovalent booster appointment functionality on the MyTurn public and MyTurn clinic side. So those mRNA monovalent boosters functionality will be removed. We're also updating some health insurance information, adding some Novavax. I know everybody's been waiting for that. So some Novavax monovalent booster functionality, some IS tab and knowledge center updates. So let's just go ahead and go next slide because we're going to get into some of these details. All right, with R33, clinic managers and VAs will be able to create Novavax 18+ monovalent booster clinics. This is only on the clinic side, so the public side will not have the functionality to make appointments for those clinics, but they will be able to find them on the walk-in page for now. So that functionality is out there. You'll also be able to do inline and bulk upload in this release for any vaccinations you've given up to date. Next slide, please. All right, the expiration date for clinic-specific links. We do want to note that when you update your clinic closing date, it will automatically update any clinic-specific links you have for that clinic. Unfortunately, expired links that are already expired as of this release will not auto-update. You will have to actually go and create a new link for that clinic. Next slide, please. All right, health insurance information. So this is only on the walk-in flow on the clinic side. We are adding a third option for flu to essentially say that you can, they have insurance, but are unwilling to provide or cannot provide it at this time. So you'll see that on the walk-in flow on the MyTurn clinic side. Sorry, that was a mouthful. All right, next slide, please. Clinic managers and VAs will be able to view two new columns, both brand and dose in the IIS tab. Next slide, please. And we have reorganized and added some stuff to the Knowledge Center. So right here on the screenshots, you see the previous, what it used to look like, and now the new release, what it's going to look like as of R33. R33 is coming on Wednesday evening, so it will be available to you on Thursday morning. So you're going to see some new job aid categories, some updated links embedded in the clinic portal. So we look forward to that. Next slide, please. All right, the brand filter dropdown, clinic managers and vaccine administrators will no longer see the age in the vaccine brand dropdown when filtering on your appointments. You can filter still on age because there are those fields, but you no longer see the age. So we've kind of broken that out to make it simpler for you when filtering on your appointments. So you can just filter on the brand itself, whether it's Pfizer, Moderna, Novavax, and so on. Next slide, please. All right, a little bit of house cleaning. I've said this last week, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but the lot number field is only for the valid lot number. So please do not add any additional information in that lot field. Only what appears in the vial. Don't add any dash or state or your provider name or anything like that. Please let your providers know that only add the lot number in there. What is on the vial. Next slide, please. All right, and now I'm going to turn it over to Hannah to kind of demo some of those items I just covered. Hannah?
Thanks so much, Josh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Hannah, and I'm your friendly MyTurn trainer. Today, we're going to be going over creating Novavax monovalent booster clinics, viewing Knowledge Center enhancements, and the expiration date that Josh talked about earlier for clinic-specific links. So I'm going to go ahead and begin sharing my screen. And as always, if you have any questions, please do put them in that double bubble Q&A so a member of our team can support you. I'm working in our test environment with test data, which means not only are we seeing the new enhancements that we'll be talking about, but we're seeing all new enhancements that will be going live with the release this Wednesday evening. We have a new My Notification section that will have callouts, important callouts that relate to the MyTurn and myCAvax systems. And additionally, on the homepage, we have the new embedded job aid links. So here we have the dashboards and reports job aid embedded and the MyTurn interactive guide. If you click either of these links, they will take you to the Knowledge Center. And from here, we can see the MyTurn interactive guide knowledge article with the title, last updated date, and the file below. If you click into any of the files, you will be able to view the file right within MyTurn or download it. I recommend for the most interactive and smooth experience to download any of our interactive guides or PDFs. You will see enhanced job aid links throughout the MyTurn system, not just on the home page. I'll call them out as we proceed, but let's go ahead and go to the Clinics tab and click the Clinic Setup Wizard. From here, we will be creating a Novavax clinic. I've already copied some information just for the ease of moving through the clinic setup process. So I will paste our internal clinic name in here. Go ahead and type the address. City as Los Angeles, state California, zip, and country. We'll associate this with our trusty Los Angeles County Vaccine Preventable Disease Control Program. Provider location in our test environment. Novavax is a COVID-19 vaccine, so we will leave that selected. We'll go ahead and select all doses and booster. From here, we can select Novavax under COVID-19. We will accept walk-in patients and click Next. From here, we're going to say our available date is today. The start date is also today, and the end date is December 1st. This end date of December 1st will impact our clinic-specific links expiration date, which we will explore as we move through the clinic setup process. Clicking Next, we'll navigate to our clinic page, where if we navigate to the Vaccine Supply tab, we can see 3 supplies. Since we selected the Novavax all doses, we have the first dose and second dose in the series, and we now have the Novavax booster. You can create a new clinic, or as always, if you want to add the Novavax booster to one of your existing clinics, you need to add both the vaccine supply and vaccine inventory. If you have questions about that, you can reference one of our newly updated job aids that are now embedded in the system. Need help? Please see the vaccine management job aid. These links are evergreen, so as the job aids are updated, the links will be updated with the most up-to-date job aid. You may be wondering, Hannah, how many times can you say up-to-date in one sentence? We will find out. Continuing on, there's a couple things we need to do to activate this location, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. We'll go ahead and click the Availability tab. Again, here we have a link to the Add Availability job aid. We'll say our opening hours are from 6 a.m. until noon. Appointments take 15 minutes, and we have 2 staff members per appointment window. I will copy these hours to the rest of the week, Monday to Friday. Click Apply and Save. Now that we've added availability and we have our vaccine supply automatically populating, I can go ahead and activate this location. Let's explore the expiration date for clinic-specific links. Note here at the top that our closing date is December 1st of this year. If I click Clinic Links and Generate New Link, I'll say the landing page for eligibility, and in English, when I click Save, let me refresh. Just to be safe, let me go ahead and add some vaccine inventory. We already have a Novavax lot added to our provider location, which I will go ahead and quickly add. Active, save, back to clinic links, generate new link, eligibility and scheduling, language as English, clicking save. We are returning an error. But never fear, we always have a plan B here on our MyTurn and myCAvax demos. So we're going to go ahead and search for a Novavax clinic that I created earlier today. Novavax 18 plus years old. Under clinic links, we can see here the closing date is January 31st, 2023. So the expiration date is January 31st, 2023 for this existing clinic link. If I go to the Details tab and change the closing date from January 1st to, say, February 9th, 2023, and click Save, Now that closing date is reflected up top, closing date 2/9/2023, if I refresh the page, and navigate back to clinic links, the expiration date is no longer January 31st, 2023. It is now February 9th, 2023. That automatically happened. I didn't need to generate a new link or anything. Finally, we're going to go back to the homepage and finish viewing the last Knowledge Center enhancements. Down here under More, we have the Knowledge Center. And under the MyTurn Clinic tiles, these 3 tiles have been reorganized to improve efficiency and searchability. For example, if we click MyTurn Clinic Manager, our job aids are now reorganized into new subsections: Overview, Clinic Creation, Clinic Operations, User Management, and all of our videos. As I'm in our test environment, the individual knowledge articles themselves will look different when you're in production, but come Wednesday evening, the Knowledge Center will be reorganized to improve searchability and efficiency. Before I close out today, Josh, is there anything that you wanted to call out for our attendees?
No, I think you covered it, Hannah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks everyone for your time and attention. Leslie, back to you.
Thank you very much, Hannah. I'm not seeing any specific questions that have come in regarding the presentations. You two are having a good time today. I want to pause and just invite our attendees, use that Q&A, or you can certainly raise your hand and we can unmute and have you share your questions verbally if you'd like. So just pausing to see if we have any raised hands coming in. All right, I'm not seeing any yet, so I'm not going to startle you, Yawande and Wendy Kate, Vanina, Tracy, by calling you by name. Working up through the list: Shelby, Sadie, Roldan, Melissa, Miriam, Laurel. Seeing lots of you on the call. I trust you are getting what you need so far from the updates and demos, but again, invite you as always to make this session your own. And I'll go ahead and turn it back over to our presenters to continue on with some more information coming your way. Presenters, go right ahead.
Thanks, Leslie. Next slide, please. All right, so we're going to go over what's new in myCAvax release 32. So we deployed release 32 on November 3rd. Here are some highlights from from that release for the LHDs and MCEs, so that they can provide a separate tab. So we separated out the vaccine order review page for COVID-19 and outbreak vaccines. You also be able to opt out of ancillary kits based on the products when creating new vaccine orders for standard and small orders now on the LHD side. Also, LHDs will be able to create vaccine transfer records for the MPOX for provider locations within their jurisdiction. And the LHDs also can edit the storage capacity record of a provider location, and the task is automatically created and assigned to the enrollment team when that's done. On the provider side, providers will be able to scroll through the available products on the new transfer page. It's a lot easier now. You can go through the multiple products versus just having certain ones show up on the list. And providers will also be able to enter and save the whole numbers when providing the total doses wasted when you create an event. So you'll no longer be able to do fractional doses, which sometimes came in. So anyhow, the system now just requires it to be whole numbers. Next slide, please. All right, a little bit of information on recommendations for LHDs regarding the safety net providers for the MPOX vaccination. LHDs are encouraged to shift the vaccination for the prevention of MPOX in the at-risk populations. And these priority groups include people living with HIV, the people eligible for HIV pre-exposure prophylaxis, gay, bisexual, and other men who have sex with men, the Black and Latinx persons at risk for MPOX. These groups have a higher case rates and lower vaccination rates. So these are the priority groups. LHDs should encourage the vaccination by safety net providers who can reach out to these priority populations on an ongoing basis, including the Ryan White providers, HIV providers, and then the FQHC's providers as well. And I'm sorry, sexual health clinics. Sorry, there's something blocked on my screen on my end. And yes, next slide, please. Within myCAvax, you can providers can order the mpox vaccination. So these are eligible providers. The LHDs mark the providers eligible within myCAvax to order the mpox vaccines, and by activating the outbreak program for those providers. The mpox vaccine products will be taken off of blackout as of today. And so now that all the eligible providers will be able to see the product show visible on the new vaccine order screen. And those are only the ones that have the outbreak program enabled or activated will be able to see the mpox vaccine as an option. Next slide. So providers that have received, as part of the setup as well, those providers who have received mpox orders or done transfers have already been marked as active in the outbreak program. So we encourage providers that serve these priority populations and those that are interested in ordering mpox vaccines to contact your local LHDs for activation. And LHDs, you can contact the service, our provider call center for assistance in activating those providers as needed. And for direct orders to the warehouse, for these direct orders, the minimum order for mpox vaccine is going to be 20 vials. And the small order functionality for the mpox will be available in our next release on December 9th. Next slide. All right, the single dose Pfizer bivalent vials are coming. So they provided the states with a limited allocation for these new single dose products, the bivalent product, and the LHD allocations will be uploaded by tomorrow. And the products will be on blackout this week, so only LHJs can order as well as the third-party redistributor will be providing them some product allocation as well as they kind of prepare for small ordering. So we anticipate ordering for providers. We anticipate opening orders for providers the week of November 21st. The minimum order is 50 doses and the maximum order is 150 doses for this product. Next slide, please. All right, well, the holidays are upon us. November is a big holiday month. So given the upcoming holidays, there will be no catch-up orders the week before and that of Thanksgiving. Regular ordering will resume the week after Thanksgiving. And so just kind of heads up, if providers should order enough vaccine at the beginning of this month. Because we anticipate there might be some delays in delivery windows that fall around the Thanksgiving holiday. And there's a little screenshot of the ordering cadence or anticipated ordering cadence and delivery cadence for the week for the month of November. Next slide, please. And this will probably be our last announcement, although we'll have reminders as we get closer to December 15th. But as of tomorrow, the new myCAvax help desk and MyTurn help desk emails will be enabled. They will now be part of the CDPH email address as you see on the screen here. So again, if you still have any local assets or website materials that are still pointing to the Accenture email address, please be sure to get those changed. As of tomorrow, the new email addresses will be active. And as we've indicated before, you will get a reply indicating and pointing you to these new addresses if the old ones are used. But on Thursday, December 15th, the Accenture Help Desk emails will be permanently disabled. Next slide, please. All right, I'm going to turn this back over to Hannah, and she's going to do a couple of demos in myCAvax. Hannah?
Thanks, Dan. Hi again, everyone. I have taken off my MyTurn demo hat and I've put on my myCAvax demo hat. The changes I'm about to show you in our test environment went live last week, so LHJs and providers, if you log in today, you should see these changes reflected in your system. LHJs, you're able to mark a provider location as active or inactive for the Outbreaks program. More practically, that means you're able to mark a provider location as eligible to directly order Mpox vaccine through the provider community. And providers, there is a way for you to see if you are enabled to order Mpox vaccine in myCAvax, which will be the second part of this demo. I'm going to begin sharing my screen, and as always, please use that double bubble functionality to ask any and all questions. We're starting in the sysadmin portal as a San Francisco County LHD user in our test environment. And we want to see if our test location, the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, is active or inactive for the Outbreaks program. So first things first, you're going to want to navigate to your provider location account. Since we've accessed the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse multiple times before, if we search for it in the global search bar, it appears. You can also select from the accounts page. We're on our provider location page on the details tab, and just to the right of details, we have the programs tab. From here, we can see the two programs that are currently active in myCAvax, the COVID-19 program and the Outbreak program. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is active for participation in the COVID-19 program, meaning that the providers can order COVID-19 vaccine. And it is currently inactive for the Outbreak program, meaning the location coordinator for Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, if they log in today, will not be able to order the Mpox vaccine. To show you what I mean, we're going to go ahead and log into the provider community as a location coordinator for Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And we're going to go ahead and click Create an Order. Remember, the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is inactive for the Outbreaks program. So if we go ahead and select the account and scroll down, 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 we can see that there is no ability to order Mpox vaccine. The Outbreaks program will populate at the bottom of the list. But if I go back to the sysadmin portal, LHJs, you're able to click this caret just to the right of the Outbreak program, click Edit, and change it from inactive to active for any provider location within your jurisdiction. Now that the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is active for program participation, navigating back to the provider community, we're going to give it a quick refresh. Click Create an Order. Select our account from the dropdown. And now scrolling down, 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 at the bottom, we are able to order that Jynneos Mpox vaccine. As of today, the Mpox vaccine is populating below the Novavax primary/booster vaccine. And you're able to place a direct order for Jynneos, much like you would for the COVID-19 vaccine. We have no inventory on hand, so we will go ahead and put 0. There is a 20 dose minimum, which is a 20 vial minimum. So we'll say we have 0 doses administered and go ahead and order the minimum amount. Clicking Next. We're taken to step 2, confirming the details for our standard order. We will remain opted in at this time for ancillary kits, confirm that our shipping hours are accurate. We do not want to enable a temporary closure, so we will leave that deselected and go ahead and click Submit. And as a provider who is active for the Outbreaks program, I have just placed a direct order for the Mpox Jynneos vaccine. Our order number populates on the screen 56848. We navigate back to the sysadmin portal and go to the vaccine order review screen. It will not appear under the COVID-19 vaccine order review screen, but instead under the Outbreak tab. Here is that order from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, order number 56848 for the Jynneos vaccine for the 20 vials requested. I can go ahead and approve 20 vials, leave the fulfillment method as CDC, change the status to approved, and click Update Order Status. Submit current page only. And now we can see vials approved is hard locked to 20. If I click the order number, once we're on the details tab for this order, it will have the order status and the vaccine. Navigating back to the provider community, since I have approved this vaccine order, if I go to the vaccine orders tab, here we have our order for the Jynneos vaccine for 20 vials in approved status. Before I stop sharing my screen, Dan, do you have any additional questions or call outs you'd like to share with the group?
No, Hannah, no, thank you very much. Did a great job.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you everyone for your time and attention. And Leslie, back to you.
Thank you. All right, we are seeing some questions coming in and want to encourage you, because there is time, to raise your hand or continue to use the Q&A. In the meantime, I'm going to turn it over to Maria Volk to facilitate what we have in the Q&A thus far. Maria?
Great, thank you, Leslie. Hello, everyone. Hannah, while you still have the screen, I know that Tanner is typing to answer this question, but Kristen wanted to be able to know how to change an order from draft to submit. Would you be able to show her and everyone else how to do that?
Yes, absolutely. It's a great question. We will go ahead and do it very quickly. So we're going to have to create a new vaccine order by clicking the new button on vaccine orders. And while I'm doing this process, I also want to call out that working in a test environment, the vaccine products that are available to me will not necessarily reflect the vaccine products that are currently available to you. So if you're seeing things on my screen that you don't see when you log in, it's because I'm working in a test environment. We will quickly place an order for the Pfizer infant toddler product by saying we have no on-hand inventory, no doses administered, and we'll go ahead and order 40 doses. We have a couple of places where we can click Save as Draft. We'll go ahead and do it on step 1 by clicking Save as Draft. Once we're back here, we have our draft order populating in the vaccine orders table. To move it from draft to submitted status, I will click back into the order number ID on the far left and come up here to the top right and click Submit Order. Now, never fear, you will have an opportunity to make changes before this order is actually submitted. But it'll take a second to load. We can see our account has auto-populated and any information that we have already submitted. So we have our 0 on-hand inventory, 0 doses administered, and those 40 doses requested. I'll go ahead and up it to 50 doses and click Next. From here, I'll have to input information into step 2, which is the date needed by, which is the date that I would like to have this vaccine at my location. I'll remain opted into ancillary kits, indicate my temperature preference as refrigerated, select my delivery method as delivery, and since I did that, I do not need to indicate a shipping container. Once I confirm my shipping hours, I can go ahead and click Submit. I also have the opportunity to click Save as Draft on step 2 as well. So I can save as draft on step 1 or step 2. But as soon as I click Submit on step 2, my order has been updated successfully. And we can see on step 3, there's no option to submit or save as draft. I simply view my orders. That is how you move a draft order to submitted status. And if you have any additional questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat. Back to you, Maria.
Thanks. And Hannah, a follow-up question came in from someone else that was asking, is there a way to delete a drafted order?
Is there a way to delete a drafted order?
I could answer that. This is Tanner. At this time, there's not a way to manually delete it, but we do expire them after, I believe, 30 days. There's been talks to move it to like 48 hours or 24 hours. I don't recall where we landed on that, but they will auto expire. And I'll try and get the specific time frame.
Great, thank you. I see Chris has got a follow-up question. I'm wondering, Leslie, if we can maybe try and get Krista off mute if she's able, so we can make sure we understand her question and help her with her issue.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to just go ahead and try to unmute.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go right ahead, Krista.
Perfect. I did it just as you said, and it was a multi-order, but when I clicked the submits to go into edit, I just got a brand new page and none of the things that I saved as a draft would show there. It was like starting all over again. So I didn't know if there was a difference in multi-ordering or not. Because in the past, when I did more than one order, they would all show up, and it just didn't do that today.
To me, that sounds like it might be a system error and not a user error, but if there's anyone else on the call who has additional insight, I will defer to you.
I guess I'm just special.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter if there's one product or multiple, but Krista, maybe let's ask you to get your information, and then we can see if we can kind of track it down and see if we can figure out if there is something going on.
All right. Well, I called in and they just rejected them all, and I started over. So maybe there was just a glitch. I just thought something had changed that I was unaware of. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for letting us know. We'll definitely keep our ears open, and if we hear anyone else that has this issue, then you know, little bugs do pop up from time to time.
Right. Okay,
So
perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. All right. I'm seeing the question about the Mpox ancillary kits. We don't have allocate, so I do not know off the top of my head what comes in the kits. If there is anyone else on the call that does jump in, otherwise we will get an answer to you. We'll have Al with us tomorrow, and we will make sure we get that answered. Wendy, I know you're out there, you might know, so if you happen to know and want to type it in the Q&A for me, that's another option as well. And speaking of Wendy, Wendy had a question about the single dose vials, and will there be enough inventory for the demand, or will LHGs have to explain to providers why we can't approve their order? So I will say, Wendy, this is the thing we are the most worried about. It is a small allocation. We know that everyone, of course, will want single dose vials, but we are going to have to prioritize them. And we will be working this week on guidance for local health departments and providers as to, under what circumstances, should a provider look to order those, and then, some guidelines for LHJs on things to consider when they're looking at those orders. The amounts are smaller, so we for sure, would be recommending these for smaller providers that aren't seeing large volumes. We mentioned that the minimum order is 50 and the maximum is 150. And that will be in place this week for local health departments so that they can order for those that do redistribution. It is likely that we will change that maximum order and go lower just so that we can stretch our supply as much as possible and reinforce really that we are looking to get these single dose vials to providers that aren't big providers that aren't seeing large numbers. So I don't know if I have anything better than that to tell you, Wendy, and other local health jurisdictions. We definitely can discuss further tomorrow as well, and welcome your insight if you have other suggestions on ways to help make sure that we are getting these limited doses to the providers that are most in need of single dose vials. And hopefully as time goes on, this is the direction that we will be moving, and this will be an option that will be more widely available. All right. I'm looking through questions. And thank you, Wendy. And I realized as I said it, that LA is doing their own distribution. And so you may have something different, but LA provides the 5/8 inch needles and then the 1 cc syringes. So I will confirm if that's the same thing that the CDPH warehouse sends out as well. And with that, just another kind of reminder as I'm saying that, when we went through all of the functionality to mark providers as MPOX eligible, this does exclude LA at the time because, again, they are doing their own distribution out of their warehouse, and so they are continuing to handle those orders as they have been. And Tracy is asking what will be the criteria to be able to receive single dose vials. We are a small county in need. We do plan on giving all health departments an allocation, kind of based on population, and we will hold some back so that we can kind of judge, as we always do, how orders are coming in and try and be able to provide additional doses if local health jurisdictions are getting orders from small providers that they need to be able to fulfill those. It will be a challenge, I will just say, I'm sure for all of us, because again, it's a small allocation and we're not expecting a refresh until after the first of the year. So we're working on the allocations now, and we'll talk further with LHJs about those tomorrow. We should have the numbers done tomorrow and be able to provide those to you. All right, another question here. Will there be an option to delete redistributions or edit them when submitted via myCAvax when an error is made, such as wrong lot number, etc.? I don't know if Hannah or Tanner could try and answer that one.
Yes, trying to look in our test environment to see if it's possible to edit. I don't think that we're enabling deletion, but possibly edit it to invalid. So let me keep digging and then I'll get an answer.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tanner. All right, a little more about the MPOX ancillary supplies. DVPA says they don't receive ancillary supplies when they get the MPOX. So again, we'll get all these to Al and we will circle back with you on the MPOX ancillary supplies. I am searching through. See if I think that I have gotten them all so far, Leslie. I know we still have plenty of time. I don't know if we had any hands raised or anything.
We are not currently seeing any raised hands, so this is your opportunity to come off mic and ask your question or make a comment. All right, I'm not seeing anything. We can certainly continue to monitor that Q&A panel, and we can pull slides back to our resources section. So let's go ahead and do that now. Sadie, this presentation is available on EasyIZ COVID education web pages. We're going to drop that link into the chat for your convenience, so just watch for that. But you can access the slides there and later today the recording. All right, let's go ahead and move on, and I'll loop back in just a moment. Maria, Dan, Josh, Hannah, any appendix comments from any of you today as we move through the appendix?
No, I don't have any comment on the appendix. It's just, again, as usual, providing information for reference. It's for our current and future releases.
Super,
I do want to remind people about the holiday hours. Yep, you just got to it.
Just some, yeah.
And then also on the 15th, the email is changing.
That is tomorrow. That is correct. Thank you, Josh. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to our next slides. All the way through, you can view the roadmaps of recently deployed, current, and upcoming with MyTurn and myCAvax. And we'll go ahead and move all the way to our resource slide. We'll double check for some more Q&A in just a moment, but our first resource slide is a reminder that we have a Crucial Conversations webinar on talking with patients about staying safe during the holiday season. So speaking of holiday hours, holiday season is approaching, and we want to share the importance of COVID-19 vaccines with Dr. Asha Shahjahan from #ThisIsOurShot. That is Wednesday, the day after tomorrow, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Next slide. COVID-19 Provider Operations Manual, the POM, is available, and it includes a startup guide and worksheet for you. Next slide. Additional support is available on the slide in front of you, which we do need to update because things are changing tomorrow. But in the meantime, you can reach the COVID-19 Provider Call Center via email or by phone, along with myCAvax and MyTurn Clinic help desks. Of course, archived communications are available on EZIZ archived communications as well. Next slide. All right, this is just a reminder for upcoming opportunities. We are going to have Friday provider consolidated webinars this Friday, November 18th from 9 to 10:30. And this does include COVID-19 vaccine, COVID-19 therapeutics, Mpox vaccine, and Mpox therapeutics updates. And then we'll meet again for MyTurn and myCAvax office hours Monday, November 28th. So I'm not seeing any raised hands. I will pause again. Maria, is there anything else or anyone else that would like to add something before we wrap up today's session?
No, I'm not seeing anything. I think we got all of the questions. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you all. Yes, thank you to Maria, Josh, Dan, and Hannah. Special thanks to our behind the scenes team, Cecilia Lavu, Michael Fortunka, Rachel Jacobs. Thank you for always showing up and helping host, present the slides, and drop links. Much appreciated. And to all of you on the call, I'm sure I'll be seeing you virtually throughout the week if you are attending tomorrow's LHJ webinar or Friday's provider office hours. But if I don't, as we're moving toward Thanksgiving, I'm wishing you all the best as you prepare for family, friends, hopefully some fun and relaxation. There's still work ahead of us. So in these last moments, just a reminder to please take some time to care for yourself by stepping away from your computer, taking in some nice deep breaths, because my guess is you are holding your breath even as I speak. Don't forget to hydrate, eat something nutritious, delicious, and just do something that feeds your mind, body, and soul. And with that, thank you for all you're doing. And we wish you all the best as we continue to work together to vaccinate California. And with that, we'll conclude today's session. Thank you, everyone.